Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about some, specifically in rare earths, critical minerals. Most of these companies we've mentioned before, but the fact that after the start of the Iran war, a lot of these companies have had a hefty correction. Nothing's changed with the company, but with the war and the chaos and a lot of these companies being speculations, they've had a beating. But I still think they have some potential. I think we're just gonna jump right into it. And why on earth should you care about critical minerals and metals? Just look at this. This is like a chart from energy.gov, by the way, as of between 2025 and 2035, at least for the Americans. You can see here rare earths and cobalt, graphite, gallium, and lithium and nickel being highly critical. EVs, the more wind turbines and the more military equipment. Every single day, the need for rare earths and the need for minerals and metals are increasing. And the fact that the West is highly dependent on imports and even to refine it, then I think a lot of these companies could perhaps really benefit in the future with the increasing need for Western independence. UCORE Rare Metals. What on earth? Why should you care about rare earths? The fact that they have, according to Grand View Research, roughly like an 8% CAGR, like 8% compound growth of demand, and that seems to be the case with a couple of other websites where there's like between 8 above annual growth of demand. Just wanted to mention a little bit of change with the company. UCORE and Vulcan Elements, which is a permanent magnet producer, are joining forces to build a domestic rare earth magnet supply chain in the United States, where UCORE will provide NdPr and dysprosium oxide to Vulcan this year, where they would then have a long-term commercial supply contract beginning as of 2027. Because this company is starting this year producing, hopefully. Now, why on earth this is important though? With the rapid SX technology, which they have tested at the facility in Kingston, Canada, at like a trial test. I think it was between 6,000 and 10,000 hours of, where apparently the rapid SX technology is able to process rare earths 3 times faster than similar CSX plants, where they can then use the same product but only faster with a lot less space needed. Then that's less capex and it's faster, so it's like more bang for your buck basically, and it can then go through both light rare earths and heavy rare earths. If I remember correctly, like heavy rare earths are more like utilized in military equipment, and then light rare earths are like both in military but also in civilian applications like EVs, wind turbines and so forth. And they are projecting that they would like produce or like start produce after like June. China is the majority rare earth nation basically. They produce or they mine 67%, and like basically they are the major player in rare earths, both in mining it and extracting it and refining it and separating it and turning it into being able to be utilized. And this is always important because this UCORE would be important though due to the fact that they would actually separate, and because apparently rare earths aren't like really rare, but like they are very difficult to like process and so forth, and usually they are like clumped together. Apparently there's like 17 different rare earths, and they usually like, and they have very similar chemistry. So then this company would then separate all of them, segregate all of them into individual spaces, basically because each of them have a specific utility, segregate them based upon like what kind of utility that specific rare earths have, and the fact that they have significant capex production compared to competitors similar conventional rare earth technology, needing 70% less space and produce between 3 and 7 times faster throughput. Seems very interesting. We obviously talked about this company a couple of times. We talked about it during the summer when it was like $1.30 and it went up to like 11, and now it's at like $5. And I thought I would mention it again because for those people that have not known about this company, then it could perhaps be an interesting opportunity. Perhaps I'm considering adding more. I'm being supported by the US government and even the Canadian government, where there was supposed to be a samarium and even a new plant in Canada too. So then this company could perhaps have 2 plants in the future, perhaps, if everything goes according to plan. But hopefully the plants in Alexandria, Louisiana by mid-2026, at least starting. And some of the partners are Criticalminerals Corp, the major rare earth company in Greenland. They are partnered with Defense Metals, Meteoric Resources, which is the company that Rick Rule really likes. It's a major rare earth company in Brazil. And the next one on this list is American Battery Technology. This has had a really massive correction, like it's spreadable actually, but the company keeps growing and growing, and I really like the management team and so forth. Now, why on earth should you even care about battery recycling? Why should you care? The fact that every single year there's newer and improved technologies and everything needs batteries and electricity, and the fact that just in the United States it's projected that the US battery market, according to grandviewresearch.com, as of 2024 was $4 billion, and by 2030, 2032, like, it will be like over $25 billion, allegedly. Well, at least according to this website. So it has a tremendous growth with batteries. Some of them, Fortune Business Insights, are saying 20% CAGR. So there's like between like 20 and 35% CAGR according to these websites. And according to Mordor Intelligence, they are saying a 10% CAGR, but that I think is more on the global stage. You need batteries. You also need to recycle old ones. Like this company had a job from the US government they had a cleanup job. Or there was a fire in California where they burned 100,000 batteries, and they are the ones recycling it. This little company, the government chose them. They also have a lithium project where they were projected to produce 30,000 tons of lithium hydroxide for like a 45-year mine life. That's insane. They are continuously growing, and the increasing demand for critical minerals and domestic supply. The fact that with batteries containing a lot of lithium, graphite, it's important to produce like the batteries, but also keeping it in your eco chain, keeping every battery and the minerals and metals inside your borders, and you having control over it, and not having to be dependent on outside sources that can then use it as leverage against you. And the next one is Comstock Inc. Ticker symbol LODE. Now, why on earth is this interesting? This is basically like a holding company with two very interesting companies, IRM and the one that we're going to talk about in this video, which will be Comstock Metals. Now, what on earth is that? It's a solar panel recycler in Nevada, as of now, trying to permit the second facility. Now, why on earth is this important? Because there's a mass amount of solar panels throughout the United States, especially in California, Nevada, and these areas, and a lot of that infrastructure is older. And the fact that every year more and more of those solar panels are needing to be recycled. What would this company be doing then? They would then receive the solar panels, shred them, treat the panels, and then separate the panels into like aluminium, glass, and mineral recovery, which would then be silver and copper and so forth. For each ton of solar panels, they would get $500. Each ton would then be $350 of profit, and that's without mentioning the money they would get from the minerals and metals they recovered. They used $200 per ton of like profit for the minerals recovered. Most of like the older solar panels are in California. There are some in Florida, but most of them are in Nevada and in California, which is very convenient because this company is in Nevada, and they could then easily ship them or have them shipped to the plant. Each facility would have the capacity of 100,000 tons of solar panels, about 3.3 million solar panels each year. So that would be incredible. That's why I really like this company, because it provides a really useful utility for society. Now, why on earth is this interesting though? This would be like a base metals company though in the deep sea, and they are still waiting for the permits last time I checked, but they have 4 metals basically and a huge resource. So if this company actually becomes a mining company, they would have nickel, cobalt, copper, magnesium. How large is this resource? The manganese resource, according to the website, would be able to supply the US consumption manganese for 330 years, cobalt would be 211 years, nickel 95 years, and copper 5 years. So this is like a huge resource. They have the potential to be a really massive company if they actually get started. And since at sea they would apparently, if they get the permits, they could start by Q4 2027. And look at this copper company. Bear in mind, obviously, if there's a recession or something like that, that could really affect copper. But copper is used in basically everything in the modern world. It's are growing and growing, and with the coming deficit, these companies could be very interesting. Look at this graph. Just look at how it's been behaving these last couple of months. Look at that, and it's growing production, and apparently they were producing in 2025 about 225 KT, or like 225,000 tons, and are projecting to produce, when the Santiago comes operational, could produce up to 375,000 tons in the future, allegedly, if everything goes according to plan. But I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed. Bear in mind, none of this is financial advice. I just like these companies or find them interesting or overlooked, in my opinion, obviously. So I hope you thoroughly enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and hope you have a wonderful day. Peace!